What's up everybody? Welcome to Queer Girl Straight Skates. Today I'm meeting up with Nick the Medic and we're gonna learn how to mount roller skates. So let's go.
Hey guys, I'm Nick the Medic. Today we're going to be showing you how to mount some skates. So far I've already done a couple of things to prep the workstation, as it may be. First thing you got to do though, no matter what skates you're building or remounting, mounting to begin with, you need to break down the skate, which means you got to take off the laces, you got to remove the old plate if you already have an old plate on there, and you got to remove the insole. And so on Rebel's new antics here, we've already accomplished all that. There was no plate to unmount already. I've removed the laces, I've taken out the sole. And what you want to do is boot or shoe, you want to get it down to bare bones. So that's kind of what we have right here. Otherwise, you're going to hit up a lot of obstacles along the way and it's going to make your job a little bit more difficult. Same thing with the plate that you're mounting. The plate is already kind of prepared. I've removed the trucks. The trucks get in the way of the mounting screws. So it's just best to have it kind of stripped down to like the bare minimum when you're mounting and working with it. It makes everything a lot easier. So we have these ready. I have all my tools set up. I have all my bolts and nuts and washers that I'm going to need. And I've already marked the boots up to where the holes need to go. And at this point, we're going to drill some holes and then we're going to start mounting these guys together. So Rebel has a new pair of skates here and she has the luxury of not having to unmount anything. When you start unmounting and remounting skates and boots and shoes, the holes tend to be a problem in the future. When you have a brand new pair of boots, I mean, this is fresh and it makes the mounting job a lot easier. So keep that in mind. It gets a little bit more difficult when you have to start unmounting and remounting the same boot over and over again.
So can you unmount and remount a boot a bunch of times, or is there a certain amount of times that you need to stop?
Well, it really kind of depends on the plate. A lot of the nylon plates, they only have 4 holes, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. A lot more of the aluminum plates, and then I'm not sure what the Arius is made of. This is beautiful. This is so light. This is one of the nicest plates on the market. But most of the metal plates though, they handle 6 screws. They do 2 in the back, 4 in the front. So if you're coming off of a plate that already only has 4 holes, doing a plate that has 6 holes is probably going to work out a lot easier. When you're going from a nylon to a nylon, 4 holes to 4 holes, sometimes the holes are halfway over each other and they overlap. And that becomes kind of a problem. You end up having to make the hole a little bit bigger. You might have to put a washer in there to make sure that the bolt doesn't move around. So just keep that in mind when you're mounting and unmounting skates over and over again. I think there's definitely a certain number of times you can mount and unmount the same boot or shoe over. Yeah. So like I said before, I've already marked my hole, or marked where I want my holes to be drilled on the skates, on the boots. And it's a lot of its preference too, but there is a general guideline of where you want your holes to go. Most importantly though, you want the rear axle to be underneath the heel of your foot, and then you want the front axle to be underneath the ball of your foot. And you're gonna want that truck centered into the ball of your foot. That's really, really important. There is preference though. Some people like favoring to the left, favoring to the right, short mount, long mount. It's really just all preference too. So the next step is, we have our holes marked, we're ready to drill. Boots and shoes that don't have heels make it really easy. The company gives you long bolts. You don't really need to use them. Since it's such a flat boot, we're gonna be using short bolts all the way through for all 6 of them. It won't be a problem at all. So I got my drill, I got my holes marked, and we're gonna do this. Don't push too hard. You don't want to drill through the top of the skate. Try to pull the tongue out all the way as you can. This will be easier for actual roller skates. If you're dealing with shoes, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult. You may drill through into the shoe, so be careful about how much pressure you're putting in on the drill. Now, when dealing with skates that don't have a heel, back to the heel is a lot more difficult, especially like on such as a Moxie. You're dealing with about almost 2 inches of the heel, and it's very important that you watch your angle of the drill bit because you could go into the side of the skate. You do have some distance to travel before you get to the inside of the heel. And you can see on the inside of the Antic here, it's still only about, I don't know, maybe about 1.5 to 2 inches wide. So you have a certain amount of area. If you put in a 2-inch heel down at the bottom, what I'm talking about is when you're going at an angle, you could go this way, you could go towards the other bolt. There's just some problems. You gotta be very careful with the angle of your drill when you're drilling into a heel. The antique boot, not gonna be a problem. Same with like a Vans shoe or any other shoe, it's not gonna be a problem.
So cool.
Cool, so we have our 4 holes in the front and we have our 2 in the rear. Let's do the next one.
Nice.
There's different ways of mounting a skate. I'm sure there's different processes. Everyone has their, their method. This is just my method. There's no right or wrong way, as long as it gets the job done, I think. So what I do first is I put the bolts in without the plate. I get them, so this one has 6, so I'm gonna put all 6 in at first. With the heel and the longer bolts, it's a little bit more difficult, especially if you're drilling on an angle. All right, so we got all 6 screws in there right now. Now I'm gonna put the plate on. Now, some plates, specifically plates that have Allen wrench to lock in the toe stop, it's really important to recognize where the position of this toe stop lock is. So a lot of plates too will tell you right here. Actually, this one does not, so this is a good example. So, the toe stop lock needs to be on the inside of your skate. So you can see right here, this guy is on this side, not there. So this would be on your right foot. Because when you go to tighten your toe stop, you want to be right here. If it was on the opposite side over here on the left foot, you would have to be bending your knee like this, and then reaching over to unloosen and tighten it, making it very, very difficult.
Totally, that makes sense.
So keep an eye on your toe stop lock and which side it is on. It should be on the inside of your feet. I know there's a company, at least one company, that does the same toe stop lock on both sides. Yeah, don't really know why. I mean, you'll get one nice and easily, and the other one you're always gonna be reaching for. So anyways, yeah, just keep an eye on this one. This is gonna be your right skate. This is gonna be your left skate. And you can tell right there, there's 2 differences where they are. This is the correct position of them.
Cool.
So the next step, we already have our screws in. This is the right boot. I'm gonna find the right plate. No pun intended. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get the screws into the position. And I'm not gonna tighten anything down. I just wanna have them, let's see here. Sometimes it takes a little finagling to get them through. There we go. That one's being a bugger. There we go, there we go, there we go. All right. There we go. Now I'm all 4. All 6 are in. There might be a little crooked right now. I wouldn't even worry about any of that. It's all going to change in the future, and you will see why. So what you want to do is you want to get your washers on. We use washers for all of our mounts. I think it's a preference thing as well. We're using locking nuts too. There's different types of locking nuts. These are just the ones that we use. So I put the washers on first, and then I'm going to put the mounting nuts on. And like I said before, we're just kind of putting them on kind of loosely, just like that. And we're not tightening anything down. I'm gonna do the exact same thing with the other skate, and then I'll show you why I don't tighten anything down at first. I'm gonna do the next one. Once again, we're gonna put the screws in first, and then we'll match the plate up with it.
This actually looks kind of fun.
Well, to be honest with you, yeah, something people don't know about me. Well, some people know about me. I love Legos. So the coolest thing about Legos, though, is actually building the sets. And after I'm done with it, though, like, I'm done with it. I really don't ever want to see it again. I wish there was a way to rent Legos and just build the sets and then just give them back.
give them back.
Or sell them back, yeah. So this actually definitely takes care of my my craving for Legos, or my addiction, maybe you would call it.
Because you just put it all together and then you give it back.
Yeah, they're full sets. They really are. It's all the pieces that you need. It doesn't come with instructions, unfortunately. But yeah, all the pieces are there. And roller skates have so many pieces. It's absolutely insane. I wish we could one day figure out exactly how many pieces go into one pair of roller skates. Bearings, washers, nuts, bolts, the boot. I mean, it's crazy how much, you know, goes into all this. So I have my plates on, bolts are on, washers, nuts, everything's on right now, and nothing is tightened. So the first step I want to do is I want to tighten up the heel on one skate. And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to tighten up the heel on the next skate. I want to make sure that they're centered on the heel. So this guy is looking beautiful. So this guy is nice and centered up on the heel. So I'm going to tighten it up now. I'm going to grab my socket. That's about it. You want to make sure on the inside that they're nice and flush, and they're not flush. They're still sticking out a little bit. I can feel them with your fingertips. A lot of this is going to be a lot of handwork too, and feeling it out. You want the screws to be countersunk into the boot. That way you don't feel anything on your heel. The screws that we use, and most screws that come with mounting kits, they have little teeth on the underside, and this allows it to pull down and actually countersink itself, at the same time locking it in place, preventing it from unscrewing because it kind of digs itself in. These are definitely some special screws. Yeah. So, let's give it a couple more cranks. My finger's on the inside actually feeling it to see how flush it is. That one's done. That one's done. So now if you look on the inside, and you might not be able to tell with the camera though, but you can definitely feel though, you put your fingers over it though, and you can feel that it's flush with the insole. So, which means Rebel won't feel it. You wanna feel? Yeah, go for it. It means your heel won't feel it though. But now it's flush though, you can feel it. Yeah. Sometimes you see these little nails here. I mean, this is a great example too. Sometimes when you start mounting stuff like that, and when you start to screw in, a nail could kind of actually get raised a little bit. Not a big deal, it's a common thing. Grab any kind of screw, metal, any screwdriver, and a hammer, and you just kind of want to hammer it back down. Otherwise it'll start to poke you on the underside of your foot. Sometimes that happens when you're mounting. So I'm not gonna tighten up the front boot yet. I have the rear nice and tightened, and it's all flush. I'm gonna do the next one. Okay, so now I'm gonna tighten up my second one. And I'm not gonna tighten it all the way down yet. I wanna take a quick look. I wanna make sure I'm on the right path. They're looking pretty good. What am I checking for? I'm checking for the distance between just the inside, or the inside of both skates, the outside of both skates, the rear of the skate. I'm just trying to make sure that they're pretty even, and they're looking pretty good. Okay, I think we can flush the heel now. Some decent power tools are probably a good investment too. It'd probably make your job a little bit easier. The next step now would be to just tighten up the front. So I'm going to do the first one. This is the right skate. Now those aren't flushed yet. I'm just tightening them down just lightly first. Yep, they definitely have a lot more room to go. And I'm looking at the distances to the outside, the inside. Let's do the next one. All right. Once again, I'm gonna check the distances on the front and the back. So I've tightened them down a little bit. I'm gonna tighten them down some more, make them nice and flush. My fingers, once again, is on the inside, feeling for how far they need to go. A little more. I rotate around because the bolts sometimes get hot, and I've had them break off on me before. All right, this one's all tightened down. All flush on the inside. Feels nice and good. All right, this one is done now. We just have to cut the bolts, but we're gonna finish up tightening up the left boot first. Don't forget to wear the appropriate footwear when working with power tools. Okay, so we have all the bolts tightened and flushed now. So the next step is to break the bolts. Now I see some people using a Dremel, and that works out really, really good. SureGrip made a tool specifically for breaking off mounting bolts. I think it's like $7, maybe $10 or something like that on their website. But this thing is a lifesaver. I see how long it takes to use a Dremel. I'm gonna show you how long it takes me to cut off all 6 bolts on a pair of skates. So here we go. There's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Whoa.
5, 6.
Wow,
All
that
done.
was so fast.
And they made this specifically for cutting off the mounting bolts. The holes on both sides are the exact same diameter or slightly wider than the mounting bolts themselves. That's why it can cut them off really close to the edge. Now there is one more step though, just a heads up though. You can tell that when we broke them off though, it did leave a little bit of a sharp edge. For that, I just grabbed like an old kingpin. I think this is from like a Sunlight or something. And a hammer. And now I just feel like a little Keebler elf. And you just want to give it a little smack and take off the little sharp edges. That way they don't cut you when you're putting your skates on and off. You can test it, feels pretty good. Didn't cut my finger.
Yeah, that way it won't get lost. What if you just grab it? Cool.
That's it. So your boots are now mounted.
Woohoo!
Plate and the boot are all connected, bolts are in. The next step is to finish up the build is to put the rest of the pieces on. So for the Arius plates, they use a different type of truck than everyone else. It's done with a Allen wrench instead of like a big old kingpin bolt. So for this guy, yeah, we're just gonna put the bushings in, line up the holes, and stick the mounting, or the, I guess this would be the kingpin, huh? Grab an Allen wrench somewhere. There's one. Now this is pretty different than every other roller skate setup for sure. And you tighten this one down all the way you can. Do the next one. Sometimes you might have to push down on these guys to get the bushing in all the way for the kingpin to catch.
Hey!
Getting excited?
Yeah, I'm getting so excited.
All right. Okay, Rebel. They're all done.
Oh my gosh, they look so good. Yes, they are beautiful. I'm obsessed. Thank you so much, Nick. You're the best.
You're very welcome.
And now all of you know how to mount skates.
Nice.
Yeah.
Made on Planet Roller Skates.
Made on Planet Roller Skates.
Yay.
Does that mean that these skates are out of this world?
Yes.
Thanks for watching this episode of Queer Girl Straight Skates. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I put out new videos every Tuesday. If you want to find Nick the Medic, you can find him on Instagram at Nick the Medic. And for all your roller skating needs from helmet to toe stop, go to planetrollerskate.shop. And until next time, later skaters!